6 years I was as a city councilwoman and in the 3 years I've been the mayor that we didn't have a quorum for a council meeting. And it turns out tonight that we don't, and I apologize for that. So without having a quorum, we want to follow sunshine law and not do any business that's on here. We can't call a meeting to order and have a meeting this evening. So I apologize. I know several of our council members either are traveling or have had family issues come up and different things. So I respect that what everybody's had. It's just rare, and I think, like I said, it's the only time I ever recall that happening. So I apologize sincerely, because I know you all took the time to come here, and if we knew ahead of time, we would have tried, or I don't know what I could have done to never had that. Do I have my mic on? Pardon me?
Yeah, we couldn't hear you still.
Okay, sorry. Can you all hear me now? So, okay. The only thing we do have on the agenda this evening that we do still anticipate recognizing is we do have the crew of the USS Jefferson City here in town, and they're going to come here this evening, and we're just going to recognize them. So they are getting ready to leave town this evening and head back to St. Louis and then head back out. So I would love it if you all would want to stay and meet the crew and recognize them. Councilman Mahalovich?
I was just wondering, we have a work session Monday. Is it possible to take up some of these items on a Monday, next Monday? I'm worried about any holding back business. If there's contracts out there that we need to move forward.
Yeah, we just have to put it on the appropriate agenda and follow
Okay.
sunshine, but we certainly have plenty of time to do that.
Okay,
To
so
get it
my suggestion would
posted.
be those items that need to be moved forward and show up on the Monday's agenda, if that meets with the mayor and all the other council.
I guess the main thing would be just the public notice and making sure that that gets out. And I believe what we would need to do too, and you can tell us the best way to do this, but we would need to call the meeting to order and have a roll call and then not have a quorum. So
There would need to be an official determination for the record that the quorum wasn't present, so appropriate for Ms. Donaldson to go through the roll call.
okay. So at this time, I'll call to order the Monday, March 5th council agenda, and we'll have our roll call.
Fitzwater, Graham,
Here.
Henry, Hussey, Kimna,
Here.
Mahalovich,
Here.
Prather, Schreiber,
Here.
Ward,
Here.
Wiseman. We have 5 here, so there's not a quorum.
Okay, so seeing that we only have 5 and we don't have a quorum, then we cannot officially have a meeting this evening.
That's right. The only motion appropriate is a motion to adjourn.
Okay. Well, yeah. And then adjourn the meeting. So can we do the presentation to the sailors and then adjourn?
I think that's probably fine. It's as an informal matter, yes.
Okay.
It was also be informal, so fine.
Fine. Okay, sounds good. All right. So thank you to those who came this evening, and we're going to wait for the crew of the USS Jefferson City. They'll have their own special, very special meeting this evening. So it's like we're here for them tonight. So looking forward to that. So thank you all for coming. I hope you can stay. They should be on their way because they do need to go to St. Louis. So I know when they do come this evening, it will be quick. Yes.
I do, just amongst all of us without quorum, I would say that there was a planning committee together to celebrate Thomas Jefferson's birthday, and it's his 275th birthday. And as you remember, in our budget, we put in $1,000 to put this out for this birthday. So we have an essay contest or a multimedia contest that's going out to all the high schools and middle schools, and that flyer will be going out this week for the contest. The prize money is $275, thus the same as his birthday, And then there will be that'll be due on April 13th, which is actually his birthday. And then there will be a reading of the essays or presentation of the multimedia and enactment by a performer on April 30th at Avenue HQ, all regarding Thomas Jefferson. There's a lot of people involved, and so we'll be sure to get that name back out to all of you about all the people that are participating to try to make this a meaningful event. The other announcement I would have is this Thursday, we have a Finance Committee meeting, and one of the things on the agenda is to talk about the priority list, which is also going to be the matter of discussion for our next work session.
Thank you. I feel like I should entertain here. Yeah, do some. I'm trying to think what I could. What, dance, did you say? Dance? Did someone say that? That might be the first time that's been done at a count. We've sang before, but we haven't actually danced.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
If I may, I could just make an announcement about
Sure,
the
please do,
upcoming
Sonny.
event.
Sure.
We're going to start our annual hazardous waste drop-off for residential users. The first by appointment drop-off will be next week, March 14th, on Wednesday, and we'll be having them throughout the summer until October. If you go to www.jeffersoncitymO.gov, HHW, you can see the whole calendar and what is permissible to drop off and what is not permitted to drop off. So I'd encourage people to use this as an opportunity to clean out those nasty chemicals out of the garage and old batteries and lead batteries and things like that. So
Wonderful. So starting March 14th.
I believe they're all Wednesdays. Yes,
Okay.
We're working with Cole County on this.
Wonderful. That's a great program.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, and as we're waiting for the crew of the USS Jefferson City, I know they've been here for 5 days, and they've really had a great time here in Jefferson City. We've got Mr. Michael Rhino, who's a member of the committee. Thank you for being here. A couple of the other committee members are with them this evening, and today they spent some time in the Capitol. They had a tour of the state Capitol building. They also were recognized on the House and Senate floor, both to a standing ovation, which was very exciting. And Councilman Schreiber gave them an official tour of the Missouri State Penitentiary, and I was asking what some of their favorite things tonight. We were at Madison's when they had dinner, and I asked what some of their favorite things, and I think they named basically everything they did, but the first thing they said was the tour of the penitentiary. They said it was nothing like what they expected, and they talked about your experience and the personal stories and so much knowledge that you had in giving that tour, and they really enjoyed that. And I know they were at a Mizzou game. Another thing that came up, they said was one of their favorites was the Fire Museum. They went to the Fire Museum today. Thank you, Chief Schofield. They talked about the displays for the kids that they could see, all the fire things that they had there, and they really were impressed. Even some of the historical artifacts that you had in the cabinet there, they thought it was a really nice museum.
We really enjoyed that, and it was interesting, too. We were able to speak about some of the similarities as everybody on board the vessel is trained to be a firefighter. We discussed the similarities and differences between fighting fires on land and fighting fires at sea, and so that was a fascinating conversation. They got to interact with one of our in-service crews and then talk about some of the differences in equipment and techniques, and it was a great experience for everybody.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we also have, while we have a moment here, Mr. Andrew Leonard, who is a former USS Jefferson City sailor and then ended up coming here. And I always enjoy hearing that story. And in fact, we talked about you tonight at dinner about how you came back to Jefferson City. It was all good because they talked about how great, really, it's nice to be in Hawaii, but how wonderful Missouri is coming here. So since we have a minute, would you want to come to the podium and tell us a little bit, kind of put you on the spot? Is that on there?
It's on
okay,
already.
Great.
So I was a crew
Welcome.
member of the USS Jefferson City from So it would be 1994 through 1997. In 1995, I came on the same crew visit that they're doing, and we visited all around the Capitol. A lot of the same things they were doing, scholastics tours, interacting with the community. And fast forward to 2001, I was getting out of the Navy, and where I grew up and came from was pretty economically downtrodden, so I didn't really want to go back there. I loved San Diego, but it was too expensive to live in, so I was like, why not Jefferson City? Jefferson City left a good impression on me. It had a good small town feel with everything you need, so that's kind of picked up and moved here. I had no job, I had no friends, I knew nobody. I found an apartment on the internet and figured I'll give it a shot, and 15, 16 years later, I'm still here. So,
Wow.
yeah. But Jefferson City did leave a good impression. I don't think when I was here in 1995, just going into a convenience store, got the warmest welcome from everyone in the city. So it did leave an impression, and I don't think I'm the only sailor from the USS Jefferson City to come back and visit and move here. I think before someone from the original crew had moved here. At one point, he was here anyway.
Wow.
So that's my story.
Well, that is a great story, and we're glad to have you here and kind of give you another official welcome, and thank you for sharing that. And we just have so much pride in the sailors of the USS Jefferson City and how they serve our country, and it's very important to us as their namesake city. We hold kind of a special place in our hearts for all of the crew members there. So appreciate hearing what a warm welcome you had, and we've been doing that, really enjoying having the crew here. They get to come about once a year, and we look forward to that visit. And some people may not realize out in the hallway here, there's the display case at City Hall. We do have the Menschberg, Germany, and the USS Jefferson City display case out here. So if you haven't taken the time to enjoy what we have here at City Hall, please do look at the USS Jefferson City display and all that we have there. And I know we had someone who walked in late. We don't have a quorum this evening, so I just want to make sure that everybody is aware of that. We're waiting on the crew to be our focus for tonight. Hi, Frank. Sure thing.
Thank you, Mayor Turgeon, City Council people, audience. Capital Area Interfaith Alliance is sponsoring a Festival of Faiths in April. On Friday, April 20th, there's a singer-songwriter performing at First Presbyterian Church. Mr. Lamont is a gentleman's name. He has been on the committee which selects Nobel Peace Prize winners. And on Saturday, there is an all-day event with speeches, breakout sessions with people from many different religions, Christian, Buddhist, Muslim, etc. And this will be at First United Methodist Church. And there is a $10 fee for either Friday concert or Saturday workshop, symposium, or $15 for both days, and it includes lunch. So that is April 20th concert, April 21st first symposium. Separate item. This coming Monday, in direct conflict with your City Council work session, Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, with their evening lecture series, is having Stephanie Clark, who teaches mathematics at Lincoln University and is president of the Faculty Senate, will be addressing us about women in STEM careers. That's science, technology, engineering, and math. 7 p.m. Monday, March 12th, 1 week from today, at the Unitarian Universalist Church, 1021 Northeast Drive. Thank you. You're all invited.
Thanks, Frank. Let's see. Carolyn, any announcements out there? Oh, Carolyn, another Carolyn. I'm sorry. We have Carolyn here, too. Carolyn, any other? We'll start calling on. And thank you all for being here. One of our former City Council representatives may have something to announce. But we do have Carolyn here, too. And I don't know if there's any upcoming events at Lincoln. You had one, I guess, last week, an event.
The night in Harlem was amazing. It was a great turnout. We had presidential candidate interviews to kind of find a president for Lincoln University, and I love the fact that they had student inclusion in the interviews. It was amazing, and I look forward to having, come 2018-2019 school year, for a new president to step in and to come in and work with the students and work with the city. And that's about it. Oh, yes, and spring break is coming up starting next week on Monday, and I am excited about it. Cannot wait to go home.
Wonderful. Now, where is home for you?
California. I don't get to go to Kenya that very often, so
Wow.
I get to go to California for a week and then come back.
Well, that's
Yes,
great.
ma'am.
And so did you have a role in the Night in Harlem production?
Yes, I was performing as Ella Fitzgerald. Yes, and I had to sing, and I had a day and a half to learn the song, which was
Wow.
quite interesting, but I did it. Yes.
Okay, now the wheels are turning. Come on up to the mic, Caroline.
Maybe another time.
Oh, are they here? Maybe. Oh, wonderful. Oh, this is so exciting. Here we are. All right. Come on in. We'll give them a little standing ovation here. Oh, come on in. Yeah, come on. You're welcome to come on forward to the podium. Welcome. Welcome.
Hello.
We are so glad to have all of you here. Welcome. And you can all five come on up to the podium. And it turns out we have kind of an unusual circumstance tonight. We knew we had a few council members absent, but it turns out we don't have a quorum. So we don't actually have an official meeting, but you all are really the reason that we're all here tonight now is just to recognize you and thank you sincerely for your service and welcome you. So I will say before you came, we had a nice discussion. We had Andrew Leonard, who is right here in the back, who is a former USS Jefferson City. He was a former sailor and was here in the 90s, and so talked about how great it was on his visit. So, and now, here he is here living in Jefferson City. So just as an option, just letting you know, we would love to welcome you all back, of course, to live or to visit. But we are so happy to have you all here, and if you want to tell us a little bit about yourselves.
So I'm going to talk last. I'm going to let the crew come up and introduce themselves, and we have a few thank yous, and it's great to be here. So okay, so I'm going to turn it over to them, and I'm going to these guys.
Sure.
Hi, I'm machinist mate, first class Aspen, sir. I make oxygen, run the diesel, that type of stuff. So I'm from Texas.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Pedro Segre. I'm a sonarman on board USS Jefferson City. I've been in the Navy going on 10 years now. And I just really want to take this time to really thank Jefferson City, thank everybody that took care of us throughout these last couple of days. It's been really amazing. To me, this is a big reminder on why we do what we do this job. It's really motivating knowing that we have people out there that really support us. Granted, we know that all the time, but knowing that we have our namesake city that really supports what we do out there when we're gone, it's a big motivator. Like, it gets me really excited to go out there, go back, do our thing, get Jeff City back in the water, get her back out there and do our mission. So I'm really excited for that. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Seaman Apprentice Justin King. I'm from Pacific, Missouri. I just wanted to take a minute and say thank you for having us here. It's been great. I love being back in the Capitol. As a kid, I always loved coming here, mostly because I enjoyed watching the Senate from up in the chairs up above, but that was just me. Other than that, I don't really have much. I'm a fire control technician on board the Jeff City. I track contacts and I maintain weapon systems. That's about all I do. So, thanks.
Okay, I'm not gonna use the mic. How y'all doing? I'm Student Chief Mark Szymanski. I'm the chief of the boat of U.S. Jefferson City. I manage approximately 190 sailors, 180 depending on how you look at it and what day of the week it is, whether they're leaving or coming. You know, since we stepped foot into Jefferson City, the hospitality's been absolutely amazing. I plan on bringing my family back. They're currently in St. Louis waiting for me to get there, which is pretty awesome because I haven't seen them since the beginning part of January. So it's gonna be good to see them. But you know, in the interim stop here in Jefferson City has been nothing but amazing. Every turn we've taken, you know, whether we're in a restaurant or a bar or a council meeting or the Senate or the House.
Go to any bars.
Yeah. No bars. So, you know, everywhere we turn, it's a very great city to be part of, and being part of Jefferson City, I feel like I'm part of this team here, and look forward to getting back and seeing you all again. Thank you very much.
Wonderful.
That's right.
Sure.
So first off, I wanted to recognize Marty, and I don't know where she ran off to. Marty, please come up here with us. So hey, we've had great hospitality from everyone in Jeff City while we've been here. You know, David's been kind of tons of our events. Marty's been, we call her Mama Bear. She's been, we gotta go. Talk louder. You guys don't be loud enough. Answer that question. You know, so Marty's been great, and we wanted to thank you with some Jeff City stuff. So we got you what we're going to refer to as a Jeff City swag bag. It's got some various stuff as well as the mug that you've purchased on your own, but it's in there. So Marty, we really appreciate it. You've been great. I know you've taken the last 5 days driving us around, being out there in the morning, staying late at night, and so it's great. I'm gonna give you a hug real quick. Okay. All right. And then so I'd also like to kind of do something similar for you, ma'am. Similar Jeff City swag bag. I will pull up one thing for you, or a couple. I noticed you have a little more style than the normal mayor.
Well, what can I say?
So, we got this is Jefferson City. It's got a lei on it for Hawaii, and we've all signed it.
Wow.
For the namesake visit that we've done. You've been awesome. I never expected, you know, this kind of treatment every day. Did you come out and take a few selfies?
Well, thank you. Yeah, okay. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And here, let's get it. Speaking of, wait, we'll do a, okay, smile.
Yeah, we'll get it.
Come on up. Yeah, here we go.
Sometimes somebody's but never works out.
Okay, thank you.
Look, she's super proficient too. No, that's the wrong way. And a few other kind of random
Oh,
things in
thank
there
you
for
so much.
So we
Thank
really
you. Wow.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
I guess I skipped my introduction. I'm Kevin Mueller. I'm the commanding officer. I'm from Minnesota, just like the Cobb. And I've been on Jeff City for 2 years, coming near the end of my tour. And, you know, this has really been a highlight of my tour. You know, the time we had yesterday with Mark to go through the penitentiary was awesome. Visiting all the schools, all the great questions we got from all the kids has been great. Seeing kind of everything that Jeff City has to offer has really been exciting. We've eaten at every go-to restaurant in the city, and that's been great as well. I got to give a speech today. Not really into that, but you know, Steve pulled me up there and talked at the Rotary Club. So all that's been great. So I really appreciate it, and can't thank you guys enough for everything. So.
Well, thank
So that's
you.
it. So thank you very
We're
much.
so glad to have you all here. And does council have any questions? Would they like to know anything in particular? I know several of you were at different events and got to know them, and we really do appreciate that. And I do, of course, on behalf of the entire council and the entire city, we want to thank you for your service to our country and how much that means to us, so thank you. And I do want to recognize, I do have a proclamation, so I'd like to recognize that. And we'll get some pictures here as well. And also want to recognize the our local USS Jefferson City Submarine Committee. So they do a lot of work throughout the year, and this is the highlight when you all come. So when we're done, we'll take some pictures and have the committee come up as well. So what we've done, you've been here for 5 days, and as you can see, there's 5 of you, and so the committee thought it would be really nice if we could recognize each of you with your own day. So each one of these guys had their own day in Jefferson City. So you can look up, we've been posting on social media and posting their proclamations. So tonight I will be posting Justin King Day. So you get yours officially here at the City Council. So, and I'd like to read this because it does share a little bit about the history of the USS Jefferson City. So this proclamation reads, whereas the USS Jefferson City SSN 759 was commissioned on February 29, 1992 in Norfolk, Virginia, and whereas in April of 1993 she was given her home port of San Diego, California to join Submarine Squadron 11, and whereas the USS Jefferson City submarine was sponsored by Mrs. Susan Skelton, who christened the submarine in Newport News, Virginia on March 24, 1990, and whereas her first deployment was June 1994 with the USS Kitty Hawk Battle Group, and whereas the USS Jefferson City has been on numerous deployments and received high honors and awards, and whereas the USS Jefferson City SSN 759 motto is when any exigency calls, and whereas the USS Jefferson City entered dry dock number 2 at Pearl Harbor Naval Shipyard in Hickam, Hawaii on April 1st, 2015, now therefore I, Carrie Turgeon, Mayor of the City of Jefferson, do hereby express my appreciation for the service of the USS Jefferson City and honor you as the fire control technician and your commitment to our country, and proclaim March 5th, 2018 as Justin King Day in the City of Jefferson. So I'm going to present this to you. And then I also have city coins for all of you. Say a couple other things too that are kind of interesting. One is that the USS Jefferson City was commissioned on February 29th of 1992, and we know it's a leap year. You all arrived, I believe, on February 28th, so I think it was only fitting that you arrived here in Jefferson City on the anniversary of that day that it was commissioned. So that's very special having you here on that special day. Something else interesting, of course, we know that our city is named for Thomas Jefferson. We talked about that before you all arrived, and I learned from them that when any exigency calls is actually something that he made that quote, and of course it means, I suppose, like when any emergency calls, that you all, of course, that's your motto. So it was very interesting, all the tie-ins to Jefferson City. I really enjoyed seeing on their uniforms where it says Jefferson City. The wood on their name tags is made from wood from the USS Jefferson City. I feel like I'm probably missing some other tidbits, but so very interesting to hear so much about Jefferson City. And seeing our city seal right there on their name tags, it's just, it makes us prouder by the minute every time we have them here. So it's our honor to have you here. Welcome, thank you for your service, and then we'll go up here and get some pictures together.
Council, is it easier if they come down there?
Yeah, council, you want to come down here?
Yeah, you need a selfie.
Yeah, this is kind of traditional.
Get a real one.
Yeah, the official photographer, we're told, Gail. Yep, yep.
So yeah, absolutely. No. Nothing short.
I really would like to know because we have the same steamboat.
Mark, they want to, what's the steamboat?
Okay.